How's it going, everybody? Ryan here from Anime No. I hope you all are having an amazing day, and if not, hopefully I can make it a little bit better. Now look, today we are talking about My Hero Academia chapter 199, and once again it is focusing on Tokoyami, our favorite feathered friend. Now, we knew that Tokoyami was going to be the star of this chapter because at the end of last chapter, he donned the name of his new special move. But before I get into that, I'm getting ahead of myself. Before I get into that, let's talk about the beginning of the chapter where I had a little bit of a backstory with Hawks and Tokoyami, and how Tokoyami went there for his workplace experience at first, and then also a second time for his internships. We know a guy like Midoriya went to Gran Torino for his workplace experience, but then he also went to Night Eye for his internship. So, Tokoyami decided to stay with one person. He decided to stay with Hawks, and it paid dividends because the second time he went to Hawks, Hawks truly acknowledged him and really took him under his wing, pun intended. But with that being said, obviously Tokoyami, being the edgelord that he is and that we all know and love, he asked him, why did you choose me? Why did you choose me over anybody else? And you know, Hawks just straight up tells him it's because we're both birds. Obviously joking, partially, 20% serious. He said 20% of it is because we are both birds. 50% of it is because he wanted to extract some information from somebody in class 1A, which is pretty interesting. Of course, we know who Hawks is as a character. We know his backstory. We know that he's playing both sides. That's just what he is. But it's interesting to see that he's that straightforward with it. But then again, is it interesting? Is it that surprising? We know that this is Hawk's personality. This guy's just blunt. He's straightforward. He goes with the flow. He does it how it is. That's just how he is, right? So, in a way, we shouldn't be surprised, but it's still an interesting interaction because he was just so straight up with Tokoyami, and I'm pretty sure Tokoyami respected that as well, being the type of character that Tokoyami is. And Tokoyami actually got a little bit frustrated too. He even said, "I'm not your carrier pigeon." Like, he was getting pissed off. He's like, "Who's this guy bringing me in just so he can get intel? Like, what, just because I'm a bird, you want me to be your carrier prison? What's going on here?" Like, so he was getting angry, but then he's seen that Hawks is actually a very capable hero, without a doubt. I mean, the guy's number 2 at this point. Obviously, before that, he wasn't number 2, but now he's definitely number 2. And during the second time around, when he was there for his internships, once he was able to actually fully cloak Dark Shadow around his body, so that way he can now go hand-to-hand combat, right off the bat, Hawks was like, okay, this guy's improving. I like this. You know, he gave him kudos, told him nice work, and he told him, let him. You know what he told him? He's like, personally, I prefer the air. You feel me? He took Tokoyami into the air, and Tokoyami once again being the character we all know and love. He's like, Hawks, we've become one with the wind. Like, that one panel, oh my god, that was so innocent. It was so Tokoyami. Only a character like Tokoyami could say this and pull it off, and still someone be cool and still be funny, you know what I mean, and not be overly cringe and like overly like, bro, what's wrong with this character? Because Tokoyami is that dude. Tokoyami is the type of character that would say something like that. I mean, this is the guy that always says revelry in the dark, you know what I mean? But we go into that. That's his backstory. And Hawks, like I said, with the pun, obviously, he's taking him under his wing. He sees that Tokoyami has a ton of potential. And he really does. When you think about it, Tokoyami, Dark Shadow is basically a stand. And he can manipulate Dark Shadow in many ways. Right now, we've seen him in the beginning just using Dark Shadow to attack, Dark Shadow to be used as defense. Then we've seen him encloak Dark Shadow on him so he can fight in hand-to-hand combat. But on top of that, now we see in this chapter his new move where he can actually fly, and he calls it Dark Shadow Black Fallen Angel, which sounds really cool, but ultimately all he's doing is wrapping Dark Shadow in his cape, so his cape will cover him and Dark Shadow will be floating because Dark Shadow is always floating, and it's wrapping his arms around him, so it's basically carrying him. So is he flying? No, basically Dark Shadow is carrying him. So the move sounds amazing. Once again, that's just how Tokoyami is. He's very extra, but that's his character, which makes it funny. But the move allows him to fly. So we see that he's slowly getting better from just a brute force, just, okay, Dark Shadow, go, attack, right? He's going from like basically being a Pokemon trainer to actually manipulating Dark Shadow. Using him as an armor, using him as a combat tool, cloaking his body in it, cloaking Dark Shadow on him rather, and then also now using him as a way to maneuver through areas as a form of wings. There's a lot of things that can happen with Tokoyami, and it's great that we're seeing this development because literally the sky's the limit for this guy. Like, whatever creative stuff he comes up with, whether it's with his costume, whether it's just off his pure skill and how he can manipulate Dark Shadow as he further gets comfortable with controlling him. I mean, he can pretty much do anything, whether it's making a weapon, making different types of attacks. It's amazing. I'm excited to see what goes down. But ultimately, we end the chapter with a new character. Not really a new character, but, you know, the Mushroom Girl. Now, we don't know too much about her, and we're going to find out about that in the next chapter. But I already see people on social media, and I see people on forums saying that she's Best Girl. What's going on here? I mean, how all of a sudden did she take Best Girl? I don't know what's happening there, guys, but I'm pretty sure there's some other Best Girl characters in this series. And this Mushroom Girl, we don't know enough about her. And I mean, she looks like she's 5 years old, so I'm going to step away from that one personally. That's all you guys. You guys can decide that for yourselves. But with that being said, though, guys, this was a really good chapter. What do I rate it out of 5? I've rated a solid 4. 3.54. Not too much action, not extremely interesting, but pretty good backstory for Tokoyami. And like I said, anytime we can get some airtime for our favorite feathered friend, it's always nice. What did you guys think about this chapter? Are you guys excited to see what the Mushroom Girl can do in the next week's chapter? I know I am. If you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button to join the journey and enjoy the journey. Catch you guys later. Peace out.